Chicken Little was released in 2005 and was directed by Mark Dindal and is an adaptation of the Henny Penny book. It's about Chicken Little, who believes in that the sky is falling, but everyone else doesn't believe him, including his father. Chicken Little is an interesting movie to me. I have very fun nostalgia for the movie. I used to watch it all the time on Disney Cinemagic, and I even got it on DVD. I used to love the movie when I was a very young child. The last time I watched it was when it aired on Disney XD back in January 2015 on a Thursday night, and I remember watching it. I remember thinking it was still a great movie. However, it wasn't until Andrew Goodguy requested that I review the movie, so I got curious to watch it again, as it was a movie I loved in my childhood, but considering it's a well-hated Disney movie, I want to see what I think of it now as a 16-year-old. Is it as good as I remember it being, or is it as bad as everyone else says it is? Well, I'll say it's in the middle. Chicken Little's not a terrible movie, but it's certainly not great either. Now, before I say this, I don't hate the movie, and I actually don't even think it's that bad. I will say this, Chicken Little is a decent movie, but that's all it is. Decent. It is just decent. It's a good movie, but has a lot, and I mean a lot, of flaws. The story is very overcrowded. It's got one plot where it's about Chicken Little winning a baseball competition, and then you have the plot with the aliens looking for their son, and it feels overcrowded, and it feels like they're trying to mishmash them all together, and I don't think it was executed well. Well, I'm not saying you can go out with, having so many storylines in one movie. You can, but execute it right, because it made the movie feel very overcrowded and just kind of feel a bit of a mess. The movie is also extremely generic. The movie is very cliche, and it's got a lot of predictable moments. Oh, I know every movie is predictable, but like I said, execution. Chicken Little's execution is so simple and just basic, and you know exactly how it's gonna go. The people don't believe in the guy. We've seen that millions of times before. The dad doesn't believe in the son. The mother is dead. I don't understand why you have to kill the mother off in every animated movie. I mean, come on. I mean, surely you could have just kept her alive. I mean, it's just, why do you have to kill off the mother in like almost every movie these days? Well, maybe not these days, but back then they used to kill the mother off in a lot of movies. Although while Chicken Little does have a very generic cliche storyline, I do think it's very creative when it comes with its humour. Now yes, some jokes are flat and do become pretty cringy, but some jokes actually really make me laugh. Like they used a goat to cut the grass as like a hedge core, so I thought that was pretty funny, and I did find one of the jokes very funny. There's a joke where Chicken is throwing the baseball and they're using Run's belly to throw it back, which I think is a good example of a creative joke. So I think the movie was very creative with the comedy, and it made me laugh, quite a lot. It's a very funny movie. It's very creative with its humour, in my opinion. It's just, I could watch it for a laugh. Like, it's very, very funny, and there's a lot of good jokes in the movie, and it makes me laugh. You get a good laugh at it, but that's just me. The animation, oh boy, I think the character designs and the location designs are very good. They're very cool, as in, I think the designs are great, but it would look better in 2D animation. The animation, while at times can look nice, and at times the lighting can be nice, it just doesn't feel, it feels like it's half finished, and it's very dated. And I know it came out in 2005, but my god, it is dated. I mean, Madagascar 1 came out in the same year, and that animation, while that may not be hold up entirely well, but at least it looks completely finished. I mean, I know with the animation software has changed a lot since the early 2000s, but I mean, Chicken Little to me just looks half done, and I mean, like I said, the animation is just incredibly dated for 2005. Chicken Little is a fine protagonist. He's fun to watch, and I did feel bad when no one believed in him, but I don't know. Something just felt missing. I can't put my finger on it, but something did indeed feel missing. Abby is alright too. She's likable and can be entertaining, but there's not a lot to her character really, other than helping Chicken Little, but she's good enough for what she is. Runt I actually think is pretty funny, but at times he can be a little irritating. Fish is a silent character, and I actually really like how he's a silent character, just using his body language, and he's actually really funny and entertaining. Chicken's dad, Buck, I feel is a little unlikable for not believing in his son about the sky falling, and I also think the closure between him and his son is just very forced and didn't feel natural.
You're never there for me!
What?
In my opinion, he's just alright. The music is also not that good either. The music is very weak. It does use a lot of pop songs, which is fine, and I get they're using it for laughs. But I didn't really care that much about the soundtrack, and it just kind of felt, well, simple. It didn't really add a whole lot to the story of the film. So overall, I think Chicken Little is decent. Not great, not amazing, far from it. Not near as good as I remember it being from my childhood. But I think it's decent. It's entertaining. But that's it. It's just decent. Chicken Little is a nostalgic movie to me, as it was a movie I loved in my childhood, but as a teenager, I think the movie is just decent. It has a very generic, overcrowded story, mixed bag of visuals, some good characters, and an alright soundtrack, but it does have some very funny creative humour. It's an enjoyable movie, but honestly, that's about it. Just enjoyable, and honestly, I feel the humour may be the only thing to make me call it a decent movie. I'm going to give Chicken Little a 7 out of 10. See you guys next time for my next review, and until then guys, skadoosh everyone and have a great day.